Think about the last time someone came to you with gossip. Maybe it was a coworker whispering about someone else in the office. Maybe it was a friend telling you things about another friend that you never asked to know, and for a moment it felt kind of interesting, even exciting. But then later alone you felt a little off, a little uneasy, like something was not quite right about that conversation. That feeling you had, that was your instinct telling you the truth. Gossip feels like connection on the surface, but underneath it, something much darker is happening. And today we are going to go deep into the psychology of why people gossip, what it says about the person doing it, and most importantly, how you can shut it down the moment it starts in a way that protects your peace and your reputation at the same time. Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to know everyone else's business? Why they always have a story about someone, a secret to share, or some drama to bring to the table? It is easy to just label them as nosy or mean and move on, but the truth is much more interesting than that. And understanding it will completely change how you deal with these people. At its core, gossip is not really about the person being talked about, it is about the person doing the talking. When someone gossips, they are usually trying to fill one of three deep emotional needs. The first is the need to feel significant. When someone shares a secret or a piece of private information about another person, they suddenly become the most important person in the room. They have something you do not have, and for a moment, that feels powerful. The second need is the need to belong. Gossip creates a temporary bond between two people. It says, "I trust you with this," and that creates a false sense of closeness and intimacy. The third need is the need to feel better about themselves. When someone is struggling with their own insecurities, talking about other people's failures, mistakes, or problems gives them a brief moment of relief. It shifts the focus away from their own pain. Now here is the part that most people never realize. The person gossiping to you about others is also gossiping about you to others. This is not a guess. This is a psychological pattern that holds true almost every single time. If someone is willing to share private information about one person with you, they have no real loyalty. They simply cannot help themselves. And that means your private conversations with them are not as safe as you think. So what does this actually look like in real life? The toxic gossiper is usually someone who seems very friendly on the surface. They are warm, engaging, and always in the loop. They make you feel special when they share things with you because it feels like they chose you. But what they are really doing is using information as currency. They trade in other people's stories because it is the only social capital they know how to earn. Here is something important to understand. Gossipers are not always bad people at their core. Many of them are deeply insecure, lonely, or anxious individuals who learned early in life that sharing information about others was a way to get attention and feel connected. That does not excuse the behavior, but it does help you respond to it with a little more wisdom and a little less emotion. Now let us talk about what you can actually do when it happens, because knowledge without action is useless. The first thing you can do is simply redirect the conversation. When someone starts telling you something about another person that feels like gossip, you can gently but firmly change the subject. You do not need to make a big statement about it. You just stop feeding it. A simple response like, "I actually do not know enough about that situation to comment," is enough. It sends a clear signal without creating conflict. The second thing you can do is ask a question that puts the gossip to a stop. Something like, "Have you talked to that person directly about this?" That one question does something powerful. It redirects the energy from talking about someone to actually solving a problem. Most gossipers will immediately back off because that is not the conversation they came for. The third thing, and this is the most powerful one, is to simply not react. Gossipers feed on reaction. They want to see your eyes go wide. They want to hear you gasp or say no way. When you respond with a calm, neutral expression and nothing more, you take away the reward they were looking for. Over time, they will stop bringing gossip to you entirely because you are not a satisfying audience. Protecting yourself also means being very careful about what you share. If you are around a known gossiper, treat your personal information like it is precious, because it is. You do not owe anyone access to your private life. Share only what you would be comfortable with the whole world knowing, because in a gossiper's hands, that is exactly where it will end up. Here is the final truth about gossip. Every minute you spend talking about other people's lives is a minute you are not spending building your own. The people who are truly focused on their goals, their growth, and their happiness simply do not have time for it, not because they are better than everyone else, but because they understand that their energy is valuable and gossip gives nothing back. If someone in your life is consistently bringing drama and other people's stories to your door, that is not friendship. That is a habit that is slowly poisoning your environment. You get to decide what enters your space. You get to decide what kind of conversations you are part of. Choose conversations that build. Choose people who talk about ideas, dreams, and solutions. Your peace is worth protecting, and now you have the tools to do exactly that. If this video gave you something useful today, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more content like this every week, and drop a comment below and tell me how you personally handle gossip when it comes your way.